Good morning, students. In previous classes we have discussed about the Fourier transformation, the complex Fourier transformation, Fourier cosine transformation and the Fourier sine transformation. Also we have used the inverse Fourier transformation, the inverse Fourier cosine transformation and the inverse Fourier sine transformations. As we know that the Fourier transform of a function fx is FCP. Then FCP is equals to, we know that FCP is equals to root 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinite fx into cos px dx. Also we know that if FCP is the Fourier transformation of the function fx, then the inverse Fourier transformation or inverse Fourier cosine transformation of the function FCP is, then the inverse Fourier cosine transform of FCP is fx, and fx is defined as root 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinite FCP cos px dp. So the Fourier transformation or Fourier cosine transformation of a function fx is FCP, then FCP is defined by this relation, and the inverse Fourier cosine transformation of FCP, that is fx, and it is defined by the equation number 2. Now we are going to use these two results to find some important integrals or to prove some important integral equations. So for this one we have a problem that solve for fx the integral equation, solve for fx the integral equation, and the integral equation is integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx is equals to, the integral equation integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx is equals to 1 minus p if p lies between 0 and 1, and this is 0 if p is greater than 1. We have to solve this integral equation for fx. If integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx is equals to 1 minus p when p lies between 0 and 1, and 0 if p is greater than 1. First we have to solve this integral equation and hence reduce that. We have to reduce that integral 0 to infinite sine square t upon t square dt is equals to pi by 2. 0 to infinite integral sine square t upon t square dt is equals to pi by 2 we have to solve. If we take this as equation number first, we have to solve first the integral equation first for the function fx, and by that result we have to reduce this result. So solution of this one is based upon the Fourier cosine transformation and the inverse Fourier cosine transformation. As we know that the Fourier cosine transformation of a function fx Fourier cosine transformation of a function fx is defined by FCP, and this FCP is equals to root 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx. This is the Fourier cosine transformation. Now, if we use first in this one, using first, we get, as we know that the integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx is given by this one. So if we use equation first in this Fourier cosine transformation, then we get FCP is equals to, this is root 2 upon pi into integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx, and integral fx cos px dx is given by equation first. So it is root 2 upon pi into 1 minus p if p lies between 0 and 1, and it is 0 if p is greater than 1. So we have defined FCP by using the equation first as this one. Now, using the inverse Fourier transformation, by inverse Fourier transformation, as we know that if FCP is the Fourier transformation of the function fx, then fx is the inverse Fourier transformation of the function FCP. So fx is equals to, which is the solution of the integral equation. So fx is equals to inverse Fourier transformation, inverse Fourier cosine transformation of FCP, and it is given by root 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinite FCP cos px dp. H, the function FCP is defined by the equation second, and it is defined in different integrals of the values of p. That is, it is non-zero at root 2 upon pi into 1 minus p if p lies between 0 and 1, and otherwise its value is equals to 0. So breaking this integral in those intervals in which the function FCP is given, then we get this is equals to root 2 upon pi. Only the value of this integral remains non-zero when the interval is 0 to 1, and FCP in this case is root 2 upon pi 1 minus p cos px dp, and this is equals to root 2 upon pi, that is 2 upon pi. So 2 upon pi integral 0 to 1 minus p into cos px dp. Now if we integrate the integral by parts, then we get, on integration, we get the result as 2 into 1 minus cos x, 2 into 1 minus cos x upon pi x square upon pi x square, which is the value of fx, and which is the solution of the integral equation, which is the solution of integral equation first. So our first task was to find the solution of the integral equation first, and we have found that the solution of the integral equation is fx, and this fx is equals to 2 into 1 minus cos x upon pi x square. Now secondly, we have to deduct the result. So this result can be deducted from the function this one. So by one, equation first was given by first. Equation was given as integral 0 to infinite fx cos px dx is equals to 1 minus p. It was given 1 minus p if p lies between 0 and 1, and it is 0 if p is greater than 1. It was the equation first. Now putting the value of fx, we get it at integral 0 to infinite fx, that was we have find this one 2 into 1 minus cos x upon pi x square. This is fx, and cos px dx is equals to 1 minus p if p lies between 0 to 1, and 0 if p is greater than 1. We have used the value of the function fx in the given interval integral equation. Now if we put it p tends to 0, if we put p tends to 0, then the value of the function is 1 minus p. When p is equals to 0, that is 1. So by putting p tends to 0, we get this integral 0 to infinite 2 into 1 minus cos x upon pi into x square cos px is 1, dx is equals to 1. Or by solving this one, we get integral 0 to infinite 1 minus cos x is 2 sin square x by 2 sin square x by 2 upon x square, and 2 upon pi is outside the integral, dx is equals to 1. By putting x by 2 is equals to, or rather x is equals to 2t, x is equals to 2t, we get dx is equals to 2 dt. Then we get 2 upon pi integral 0 to infinite 2 into sine square x by 2, that is t, upon x square, that is 4t square, into dx, that is 2 dt, is equals to 1. Or on solving this, we get integral 0 to infinite 2 and 2 4 cancelled, we get sine square t upon t square dt is equals to pi by 2, which is the required result. So with the help of the Fourier transformation and the inverse Fourier transformation, or Fourier cosine transformation and inverse Fourier cosine transformation, we can solve some integral equations, which we will solve in the next time. Where in the integral equation part, we can solve these problems also with the help of the Fourier and the Fourier cosine transformation and the inverse Fourier and the inverse Fourier cosine transformations. Thank you very much.